All right, so first look of the day is a donation list from our very own Udok. Get the cards in. It's a donation for some Mardu Death Shadow. We played some like Mardu Shadow Blade recently with Stone Forges and Esper Sentinels and stuff like that. This is going to be a little bit more of a traditional like Mardu Shadow mid range, kind of going back to what you would have found during like the Hogak era. That oh so fun time that everybody pretends didn't happen, and we all just kind of have to accept was in fact there, though nobody wants to. But this is a shadow variant that's centered a lot more around like using cards like Ranger-Captain and Unearth to gain advantage by sacking Ranger-Captain, silencing your opponent for a turn in a lot of cases, unearthing the Ranger-Captain better, uh, or unearthing the Ranger-Captain later to get another copy of like Death Shadow, Ragavan, whatever you may need, and looping again, getting another unearth. One of the reasons that these kind of builds fell out of favor a little bit is Ranger-Captain is like a really good card when it's going to get a combo piece, little bit more lackluster when it's going to get like a fair value piece. So when you're Ranger-Captaining for like a Walking Ballista and Heliod, it's a pretty big deal. When you're Ranger-Captaining for a 1 mana 5/5 on turn 4, it's a little bit less than whelming. So couldn't even say underwhelming, vocabulary nuts out there. But we're gonna see how it goes. One of the things that really made the old Mardu lists push was you had access to faithless looting, so you could like turn 1 faithless looting, ditch a Ranger-Captain, turn 2 unearth it, get a shadow back, and if you had like a street wraith, you could just play the shadow on turn 2, and then God, sack the Ranger-Captain on their upkeep, silence them, go back to your turn, thought seize, whatever. Uh, but we're gonna see how like this fair plan goes. We'll see how many games we get to like turn 1, play Ragavan, hit them, play Ranger-Captain on 2, which I'd assume is going to be pretty decent. But my reserve is always in these lists. Like Ranger-Captain on 3 is usually not very good. Ranger-Captain, I 1000% truly, honestly believe was only good in these decks because we had Faithless Looting. And I think without Faithless Looting, the card is almost unplayable in Shadow decks. But I'm up to be proven wrong. We're gonna try it out. If it turns out that's not the case, I will be the first to admit the error in my opinions. In the sideboard, we've got a single copy of Burnton Forge Tender. We can go get off our Ranger-Captain, maybe protect one of our creatures from like unholy heats, or protect ourselves from being bolted out. 2 Fulminator Mages to be able to loop with like Unearth, take out things like Tron. A Wandering Emperor. I have no idea how this is going to go, but it could be an answer to like a Murktide. It could be a good threat against control decks, other mid-range decks. 3 copies of Wear and Tear for things like Urza Saga, artifact decks. 1 engineered explosive, or 2 engineered explosives. 2 copies of Unlicensed Earth for Grave Hate. 2 Turok for the white base removal, and 2 Terminate for stuff like Murktide, Shadow Mirrors, whatever annoying things we have to deal with. I'm open to modifying the list, specifically the sideboard. Emperor is just a pet card trying to force it in. Dothi is a 4 of main. Good with it too. But we'll see how this goes first, and then we can change things up if we so desire. To play 2 to 3 Power Rangers like me, I'd play none of them. Like I I do not think Ranger Captain is good in shadow decks. I think that whenever we play like Esper or Mardu, uh, people really love suggesting Ranger Captain and are kind of convinced that if you're playing white in a shadow deck that you have to play Ranger Captain. And I have no idea where that notion came from. But for the most part, like, Ranger Captain is just a very underwhelming piece. Like, I think people fall into this trap of, hey, if you're playing white, you got to play Ranger Captain. Okay, well, why? Because that variation of Shadow that one time played Ranger Captain. Okay, well, what circumstances around that build uh, allowed it to play Ranger Captain or made Ranger Captain good? Oh, well, it gets Shadow. Like, there's more to it than that. We do win a die roll. Do get to go first. Resize a little bit. So we're up against a Gigantha. Could be Tron. Could be Grix's Shadow. So let's keep it. Like if it's Tron, this is a good hand. If it's not, it's like a Shadow Mirror. This could be a little awkward. And I think I'm just going to play Ragavan. I probably should have fetched away the Bauble. But I feel like the Bauble isn't that bad of a draw right here. Alright, so let's crack in with Ragavan. Don't really know what would play Stomping Ground Pass for the Marsh Flats. Is this some sort of zoo deck? Keep a Thoughtseize. So let's play Dothy, and then we'll play our fetch land. Say go. Kind of expecting a territorial Kavu. Okay. Ranger-Captain of Eos. So this might be a triple spell turn, like a Thoughtseize them, play Shadow, Unearth Ragavan. Start with Thoughtseize to see if Dothy maybe hits something we want to cast. So it is a Bring to Light deck. Is there anything in here that I am particularly interested in casting? I'm going down to 16 off Thoughtseize, 13 off the Arid Mesa, 10 off the other Mesa. I don't think there's anything that is better than killing off Ren. I think I have to take. See, Godo Sleep. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Monday. Is it Monday? Yeah. So I need to kill the Wren one way or the other. So I think my best bet is to take the card draw. Take the Teferi. Attack down the Wren. And unearth the Ragavan. Or do I want to spin the unearth? It might be better to wait until next turn and try to like unearth the Teferi. Like maybe I'm just playing out the Shadow this turn. They can only cast one removal spell this turn, so I really want to like force them into one removal spell a turn while I've got multiple threats. I can swap this Dothy out for Teferi. Does that stop Bring to Light? No, because this like actually searches up the card and then puts that card on the stack separately. I think I'm going to. I'm going to swap out for Teferi. I'm kind of thinking with like Teferi and Ranger-Captain. I can do some fun stuff. It's gonna be Helix. Yeah. So let's cast Teferi. Get a Sacred Foundry. Play a Ranger-Captain. Go get a Shadow. Play a Shadow. Take up here. And then are we sacking on their upkeep? I guess I gotta update the deck list. Let's do that on Stream Decker real quick. So minus Teferi to draw a card. Bounce Captain was good. Well, the problem was I didn't want to give my opponent a draw step there or give them a turn to cast something through the Captain. So I didn't want to just like leave the Captain around and let it get dealt with. sack a dude. They make a 1/1. We kill the 1/1. Move on with our lives. And where to go to? All right, so deck list should be updated now. I think. Yeah, there we go. All right, sideboard. Playing against 5-color, bring to light with stuff and spells and things. Fulminator seems reasonable. Turok seems reasonable. Horsefather, that was game 1 of match 1. So I guess the oh no, the record bot is pulling from the wrong account. That's what it is. So properties underscore TTV. There we go. We're gonna have to update some random little stuff like that as we go along. So, don't think I want Wandering Emperor. I saw Lightning Helix. I'm assuming they're just like a Niv Mizzet deck. So I probably just want to drop some heats and bolts. This is one of those matchups. It's going to be rough not having access to Temur Battle Rage or any sort of counter spell. But we'll see what happens. Reasonable hand. We've got Disruption. We've got some redraws. We've got threats. Kind of. Opponent's on a mold of 5, even better. Let us bobble ourselves, see what's up. Marsh Flats. I want a 3rd land, but I don't want a 3rd land right away. So I'm going to go get a Blood Crypt. I can Thoughtseize on 1. I can decide if I want to Ragavan or Dolphy on 2, but I don't want to Ragavan and have my opponent just get a what's it called? Renin 6 down on turn 2. Do I want to take payoff or do I want to take the removal spell? I'm going to take the removal spell for now. Might come to regret that. Immediately come to regret that. But I think I've got enough draws at finding like another piece of interaction that I'm not too heavily worried about it. Play out Dolphy. Next turn we can dash Ragavan. This just like goes ahead and gets my best play on board in case I find another Thoughtseize. In case I find another Thoughtseize, he says. Play the Street Wraith before I fetch. Why would I want a Street Wraith before I fetch? I saw a fetch land on top, so I didn't want to draw into that. I actively wanted to not get the fetch land. Alright. So they've got to bring to light. Was kind of the part I didn't want to get to. I can just Dolphy. I can Dolphy for this fetch. Play the fetch, get Ranger-Captain, go get a Shadow. Their turn, sack Ranger-Captain, go to my turn, unearth Ranger-Captain, get another Shadow, play out the 2 Shadow, pass, sack Ranger-Captain, untap, kill them. Yeah. So let's go get a Godless Shrine. Play out Ranger-Captain. Get a Shadow, pass the turn. Sack you. Opponent did find the land. So now we unearth the Ranger-Captain. Get a Shadow. Play out a Shadow. Play out another Shadow. Pass the turn. Sack Ranger-Captain. Omnath. That's not nice. Huh. Houston, we have run into a bit of a predicament here. Got a real poker hand here. Indeed. This is like my hatred of Ranger-Captain on display because it's just such a slow engine to get going. Alright, so if they bring to light for a verdict, which I assume is their best option unless they have like an actual win the game spell. Let's see, Kuji 1990 and Escape Inui. Thank you all so much for the follow. Hope both of y'all are having an awesome Monday so far. Appreciate you coming around and hanging out. Each creature deals damage to itself equal to its own power. So basically a burning. Dash Ragavan. Utopia Sprawl. That. Channelers. Go. 3 unknown cards in hand. Black Damnation, it costs 3 or less or something like that. There's Bontu's Last Reckoning. The 3 mana, destroy all creatures. Your lands don't untap. Another Bring to Light. I guess Gigantha is about the only reason I can think of to play that one instead. But surely at some point they're going to realize that, like, if your 5-color good stuff deck has the ability to tutor up any card it wants to get out of a situation, and the card of choice is Omnath, this, are they just drawing like mono Bring to Lights over there? I believe we might be in a little bit of trouble. Helix, Ren, General Ferris, Leyline Binding. The old double Omnath, triple Bring to Light. But now we've seen Omnath, so that's a big plus. Turn 1 Ragavan's good. Turn 1 Ragavan into turn 2 Dolphy Thoughtseize. Start with one of our fetches. And can we do? No. Awkward mana is awkward. I would like to start on a fetch so that if they do deal with our Ragavan, we could turn 2 Thoughtseize plus Shadow. But I can't start on a fetch, have Ragavan on 1, double black on 2 to Thoughtseize and Shadow, plus double white on 3 in case I have a Ranger-Captain. So if that's the case, I just have to get Blood Crypt and Ragavan. Just trying out the Rakdos Saga deck list. How'd it go for you? Didn't like Death Shadow too much in it. It's probably one of the weaker cards in the deck. No argument. Renin 6. Oh, I just skipped through my main phase. Crap. Alright. Magic Online, we're going to have to work on that. Kiyoma, why are you shouting? Alright, let's get Dolphy plus Thoughtseize. Solar Blaze, bring the light. That's a sorcery. You're a sorcery. I can actually cast you. I guess we're going to take the Wrath. I don't know. I'm feeling ecstatic. It's fair, I guess. Alright. Turok's a reasonable... No, stop! It's because I don't have a stop over here. It keeps throwing me off. We're going to lose this one just off user error. Like this, it's skipping straight through to my main phase. So I want to stop here. We would have won this one, I think, pretty handedly if we had not messed up our stops. We might still have a chance. Do I want to sack Ranger-Captain to stop Veil of Summer? No. I want to attack for 6 here. Play another Ranger-Captain in Shadow. And just sack a Ranger-Captain on their upkeep and then don't care if they get or if they play a Niv Mizzet because they're just dead. Why not Turok? I would have Turok'd the turn before, but if I Turok and my opponent's got a Veil of Summer, which they showed me Veil of Summer game 2, then they blank the Turok. They get to untap and bring to light for whatever, Niv Mizzet for whatever, especially Niv Mizzet. They just get to get that down. And all I've got is Dolphy, Ranger-Captain, Turok, plus their extra cards. So especially if they drew a removal spell. I have to sack Ranger-Captain in their upkeep, but that's worse against Niv Mizzet. So I think it makes more sense to just get the other Ranger-Captain out so I can silence them on their turn, go to my turn, have 3 lethal attackers. They can't wrath me or anything. Like, I think it just makes more sense to aggressively Ranger-Captain. And the best play into aggressive Ranger-Captain is to put 2 more threats on the board instead of putting 1 more threat and sacking off one of my 3. They weren't on 2 cards. They were on 4, I think. But either way, we got the win. The important part, right? Like, I just don't want to put myself in a position where I go play Ranger-Captain or play kick Turok. They discard something dead, or worse, they Veil Summer me into untap. I sack Ranger-Captain, and they've got like a Lightning Helix for Dolphy and maybe something else, like an instant speed way of dealing with the threat. Now I'm no longer presenting lethal. I think playing the other Ranger-Captain just like plays around all of that. So, what do we got for round number 2? But it was very, very evident in that game that Ranger-Captain makes like Ranger-Captain was okay in that matchup, better than I thought it would be, but the mana base with it is rough. Because you're talking about needing like red and black on turn 1 for Ragavan and Thoughtseize, into like Godless Shrine on 2, second Godless Shrine on 3. But if you have a shock land in there somewhere, then you can't like turn 1 shock Thoughtseize, or you can't fetch shock Thoughtseize, fetch shock Shadow. I don't know. It's a lot to navigate in like the first turn of the game. Like, this is better because I drew the Godless Shrine and not the Blood Crypt. Draw the Dolphy. I could flip it over and try to unearth it next turn, but like I'm not doing anything else with that mana. So humans. Huh. Well. Cycle in case we find something we'd rather do than Dolphy, but okay. Ranger-Captain not looking very good against the creature-based Vile deck. But I guess if we can Ranger-Captain, get a Shadow next turn, stack it, unearth it, get another Shadow. We get non-creature spell. Go figure. You're not doing anything else, so might as well get cracking in the air. Let's get a shadow. Also, if you're running 4 shadow and 4 copy of Ranger-Captain to get shadow, there's no reason you shouldn't be running Team or Battle Rage in some number. Like, you've got 8 ways to get your premier threat. So the consistency of like getting a ferocious threat is so much higher. You need to be running some number of Battle Rage to capitalize on that. Big old champion of the parish. Holy heat, no delirium. If I had delirium, this would be a lot easier of a decision. I could just like unholy heat the kite sail, sack the Ranger-Captain, get another shadow, play out double shadow. Guess we'll sack first, see if we hit something relevant. Okay, so that does give me delirium. Or the first one gives me delirium on the second one. So we can go. I really want to hit the big dudes. Like, what are the odds that I'm going to flip over delirium off of the first unholy heat? Apparently pretty good. We do have a flying blocker now, so. Super dead to Reflector Mage. Alright. Dead to that as well. That was just like Pretty good rollout. I guess we're not dead. Just not in a great spot. So opponent actually about to throw this. Block here, take 5, Shadow lives, untap, Unholy Heat, Adeline, dash Ragavan, block Shadow, exactly 8 coming through. So yeah, opponent just threw this one. I think all they had to do is not attack with the freebooter. Go to blocks. Block here. Kill this. Take 5. 5 is not lethal. My turn. Unholy Heat the Adeline. Dash the Ragavan. Hiya. Go, Power Rangers. That is the danger of attacking with non-lethal threats against a shadow deck. I.e. the flyer dude. What's his name? Kite Sail Freebooter. Let's trim on Unearth. Ranger-Captain loops aren't going to really do anything for us here. I don't hate Dolphy just for like a board stall. Also run the possibility of like killing something nice on their side, getting to replay it with Dolphy. Not terrible. No more vials. Play the Bad Thoughtseize first. I feel there's a pretty decent chance that they just like blind meddling mage naming Unholy Heat, since we showed that to them last game. So I think I'm gonna take the mage. That shadow getting extra toughness from creatures hitting face is such a neat detail and comes up surprisingly rarely. It comes up a decent amount of the time, actually, but most players take the approach of if I can't kill it, I don't want to attack into it, which is the correct approach to take. But some people still don't. I feel like they had to have hit another champion of the parish, because why wouldn't you vial this in instead of casting it? Yeah. I'll keep that. And how lucky do we think we can be? The Manus Rider. Maybe It comes up often for you. You're the Death Shadow expert. I wouldn't say expert, more enthusiast. So we're probably going to aggressively trade off this channeler. Or not trade off, but aggressively chump block just to save some life. But if they just hit another Thalia's Lieutenant. Gross. That's going to be GG for us. Yeah, if we had thought about or thought they wouldn't have hit the land, then we could have taken the Thalia's Lieutenant and try to like not give them a play this turn, and EE just wipes out the 2 champions in the vial. Like, we know we have EE, but EE doesn't do anything against this board state now that they've got Sanctifier, because I have to shock to 6 to play EE on 1 to take out the 2 champions in the vial, and then they just have an attack for 5. Or I got to use Silent Clearing too, so I'm going down to 5 to EE, and then they just have a lethal attack on the way back. If I play out the Shadow, I go to 7. I can kill the Thalia's Lieutenant, block the 5/5, still taking 7. So yeah, that's Sanctifier. Look at Fulminator on the play. Of note, we don't have any Colligan's commands in this list. A reasonable card in the matchup. No K command, no battle rage here. Emperor feels out of place in the sideboard. Well, it was a pet card. So we're seeing how it goes. Not my pet card. Udok's pet card. But obviously it's going to be a lot better in like the control matchups and stuff than it is against humans. Or 5-color Niv to Light like we've seen. Hand is okay. I guess we get to check for the vial, which stopping Aether Vial would be huge. Mantis Rider. Turok. Turok's probably reasonable enough to keep. Champion, Sentinel, Thalia. Mantis Rider on top. So they're going to dump out their hand pretty quickly. Probably just want to take the champion as the thing that grows. Like, I can play out a turn 2 Turok, just to, like, sit there and gum up the board. Save the Terminate for the Manus Rider. Turn 3, play a Ranger-Captain, go get a Shadow. Turn 4, Shadow. Any reason to get a Dragon's Rage Channeler instead? We'll start attacking. Interesting. See if for some reason they want to trade off like Manus Rider for Ranger-Captain. So this is probably going to be terminate the Manus Rider. They're going to get to draw a card. I would like an Unholy Heat off the top. Could be worse. Put the pressure on. I don't think opponents really got like any favorable blocks anywhere. They know about the channel or Ragavan. They do not know about the channeler. spirit fingers over here. Well, this makes Shadow into a abyss. Is there any argument for blocking this? Like, do I want to just throw Ragavan in front of this? Since Ragavan, if I try to swing back with it, is just getting eaten by Thalia. All right, what are my draws? If I draw a fetch land, they have to block Shadow. They can trade off the Kite Sail that doesn't have anything with the Turok. I think I'm chumping this. Well, what happens on the crackback? They hit me for 4. I'm down to 5. I untap. Let's say I draw dead. Say I draw dead, attack all. They block. Thalia on Ragavan. Sentinel on Shadow. Dead freebooter on Ranger-Captain. Take 5. Dead on the crackback. So yeah, I think we're just sacking Ragavan here. It's not doing anything for us going forward. Huh. Does that mean we're attack all? If they go Kite Sail with nothing on Turok. Take Chandler. Esper Sentinel on Shadow. 2/2 champion on Ranger-Captain. I think I attack Captain Shadow Channeler. Because if any of these get through, it's lethal with Bolt. And if none of them get through, then I took out 3 separate creatures at least. Yeah, okay with this. Okay. Just took out 4 creatures there. Kept 2 of ours. And we get to keep this Turok back to block. So we say go. Sentinel's fine. Another free boot. So if I take out this other Sentinel, I just get to take it right back. I can bolt them. No. I just bolt this Sentinel and make them take back the EE. Ragavan do anything for me? Just like a chump blocker. You get that. You don't have a good attack. Interesting. So if I prismatic ending this champion and attack with everything, they have to block shadow with either one. They don't have to block anything else, but they're pretty dead if they don't. You out of here. Just cracking in with everybody. Woo. 2-0. Something, something, humans in the year of our Lord 2022. Something, something. Sometimes all it takes is a little critical thinking and opponent making an awkward attack. Someone would say 3-mana 2/2s are bad in Modern. Were there 3-mana 2/2s in that match? Skillfully won the die roll. That's the real secret. But like here, this mana, I want Blood Crypt to be able to fetch Shock Thoughtseize on 1. And then if I draw like another fetch, I can fetch Shock Shadow. But I want Sacred Foundry to be able to Ranger-Captain. If I get Sacred Foundry, then I can't play Shadow on 2 without Street Wraith. What? What? 2 crabs, 2 lands, 2 surgical extractions. Double white cost is so awkward. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a really restrictive cost to put on a card. Oh no. Oh no. We played right into their top deck trap. No. It's happening. The stars are aligning. A top deck and archive trap. Be able to get off this double surgical. What a top deck. What a god gamer. You just gotta understand when your opponent's better. Get out of here. Prismatic ending these nuts. All right. Can't say I thought about this matchup when I was drafting the list. I probably wouldn't either. And I certainly wouldn't plan on your opponent just like ripping an archive trap on their very, very not good keep. Oh, and they surgical my Ranger-Captain. I didn't even notice that Ranger-Captain was in the yard. All right. Well, I, for one, think we've got a good chance here. We've got Ragavans left, 3 more Ragavans, 2 more Dragon's Rage Channelers, another Dolphy. And it ripping 3rd crab plus 3rd land. All right. Ragavan off the top. Technically. All right. So I'm going to unearth. I think I want to unearth a Ragavan. It kind of like doubles up on the amount of win conditions we have. Because now we're running into, oh, maybe I get to hit my opponents like mill spells and gives us more options. It's going to be really bad if they hit the 3 toughness crab off the top, but do. Son of a... I can't make it up. I cannot make up the things that are occurring. Another copy of Surgical Extraction. Just rip the 3 toughness crab immediately off the top. Like, I was thinking, oh, maybe I want to get back a Dothy or Dragon's Rage Channeler because it speeds up the clock more than Ragavan. But, like, Ragavan can hit some of their spells. Maybe I hit, like, the 1 mana draw 3 if somebody's got 20 cards in their graveyard. What is it? Visions of Beyond? Tilting to watch. Imagine playing it. I mean, I'm playing for this Street Wraith. Or do I want to play to try to cycle into the Unholy Heat right here? No. Let him have it. So I've got Prismatic Ending I can draw into as well. Or no, we only have 2 Prismatics in the main. They're both in the yard. Heck yeah. Please tell me we've got another land. Yes, we do. Go Power Clock. But we can agree those were like about the most nutty top decks right there, right? Just Archive Trap into 3 toughness crab. Do we have more lightning bolts? How many lightning bolts do we have? 1. No, both the lightning bolts are in the yard. We do not outrace land drops at the moment. Channeler. So there is another... Yeah, there is another Dragon's Rage Channeler in the deck. That would be a good top deck. Okay. Do I want to... Do I want to unearth on the Channeler, or do I want to unearth on a Dothy? I feel like I want to unearth on a Dothy. I mean, I guess I could Thoughtseize and get the Scry, but like, what am I scrying towards? Basic land into basic. Actually, draw surgicals. It's a win. I believe. One more, not mill spell, not fetch land. Draw another crab. What on earth did you draw? Fatal push. Okay, nothing exiled. Not do anything to stop this. Guess by all technicalities, it was a dead draw. One more dead draw. Draw another fatal push. Into the story. They're running into the story. Ah, man. Also, the RNG of what they milled. Yeah, like hitting both of my lightning bolts right away. It was pretty rough. I don't have much of a sideboard for mill. Can't even make that story up. Go sit in the corner. Go sit in the corner and think about what you just said. Should have targeted us with Into the Story. Can you do that? Target player? You cannot. Ah. That would have been. Feels bad. Feels bad to end all feels bads. Yeah, I usually don't go into a modern league and say, I really hope I got a good mill game plan with this deck. Maybe I need to start, though. All right. Maybe I want Fulminator. This is like an additional clock. ready to be archive trapped. Ah. That's right. Play a 0-3 crab. No 0-3 crab. At least you made a mill player happy and not an Omnath player. Rather not make any of them happy. Reasonable chance at next turn is just like Sacred Foundry, Bolt ourselves, double Shadow. But we'll see what they do. Or that. Or no, that triggers a archive trap, doesn't it? Well, I could Ranger-Captain, put his trigger on the stack, hold priority, and sack him. And go get a shadow. But we're just going to do this. If they like don't answer these, then I might just decline to search. They got a Tasha's, we're in a lot of trouble. I just have the Field of Ruin. Is that just me being dead? Have to fetch off that. That's 6 more cards. Plus 13 off this archive trap. They have to block one of these, so I'm not dead to a fetch land. Absolutely be silencing them on their turn. Do you have a drown here? About to say, like, You gotta drown and you're not over there killing shadows. Props. So I'm not gonna search in case they drew an archive trap. Sack now. On to game 3. He had to have been sitting on like a sorcery speed bill spell. Had to. It was stressful. This whole matchup has been stressful. Okay. You just like mull to oblivion for me one time. No crab. No thought thieves. Or no crab, no fatal pushman on turn 1. Is interesting. I have to assume that means they've got like that. Maybe archive plus surgical. Damnation. That one a good one to know about. What kind of shenanigans are you hiding from me? So, Channeler, Thoughtseize. Actually, we'll keep the bolt. Field of Ruin. So I've got to take the Tasha's, right? I'll let them Field of Ruin and shuffle away the bolt if they want. Okay. Let this resolve. Get the swamp. Be mana efficient. Lightning bolt. Ranger Captain stops damnation. So I should hold on to that one. Or should I shuffle it away just to get another threat on board? Probably need to just shuffle it away since I'm not casting it anytime soon. Damnation into the story, unknown, unknown. Cast into the story does not cast damnation. Crab doesn't do anything for me, does it? All right. So if they have to fetch or something, maybe you have to shock to play damnation. Maybe they only drew a watery grave. Like Dark Slick Shore and they can't even cast it. Okay. So very, very glad they followed that up with the crab. Okay, so we go prismatic ending the crab, dash the Ragavan, unearth the Ranger Captain, play the shadow that we get, sack Ranger Captain on their upkeep. Or I guess we unholy heat the crab instead of. Is there any way they can take me off delirium if they have a surgical? Brad, what's up? Yeah, mill in the year of our Lord 2022. Maybe I'm supposed to dash the Ragavan first. Trying to think of like how many ways do I need to play around surgical? Like if I unholy heat first and they respond with like surgical Ragavan, then the play stops. But if I Ragavan first and they respond with surgical unholy heat, then I still get to unholy heat in response. So we unearth Ranger Captain. Big bucks, no surgical. Nice. Yes. Shadow. Cast shadow. Archive trap. Damn you. Upkeep. Stack Ranger-Captain. Crab, yep. Field of Ruin, unfortunately. Do we have any shock lands or anything left? Foundry, Godless Shrine, Blood Crypt. So there is still one Blood Crypt in the deck. Just die. Die. I think opponent was playing for their trophy. They said in chat, no 5-0 Sag. They said GG, no 5-0 Sag. Like, yeah, GG for sure. Super close games. Sorry, opponent, but I got to keep my trophy hopes alive, too. We can't sacrifice our donation league trophy hopes for Mill. Boy, crazy that Mill's playing for a 5-0. I agree. All right. No companion. Pass. Let's see if we get some idea what's up. Tapped Watery Grave. What plays no companion tapped Watery Grave? Bill seems like it always going to be on the edge for a good deck since they printed so much love for it. Are we back to back, Mill? Come on. What did I do to deserve this? Who did I hurt? What god did I not pray to? All right. How many surgical extractions you got? There we go. At least one. So I was going to show a fun trick of after this street wraith resolves, we can play our fetch land, cast shadow, hold priority, sack the fetch land. That way your opponent doesn't get a priority opportunity when you go to crack your fetch to surgical your shadows. But since they decided to just go ahead and hit our thought seizes, we don't have to worry about that. So I still think we're going to do that. So hold control, put shadow on the stack, crack the fetch. And like I said, this just prevents your opponent from having a priority opportunity to surgical your shadows with the fetch land on the stack. We'll get a Ranger-Captain, which I guess will just get our last shadow. I'm not going to sack Ranger-Captain this turn because there's not a lot I care about them doing on 2 mana. But I will sack it next turn. When they've got like Tasha's and all that stuff. Oh, nothing they can do on 2 mana. Shut me up real quick. How do I say things? Why do I speak words and ideas? Alright, so attack. Let's unearth another Ranger-Captain. Get a Channeler, play a Channeler, play a Shadow, say go, upkeep, sack Ranger-Captain. Not gonna lie, Ranger-Captain's been kind of carrying us. It's been a lot better than I thought it would be. I will, like I said, if I thought it was, I'll be the first one to admit it. And I do think it's been better than I thought. But that being said, we have also played against 2 decks that just put Ranger-Captain into our yard. They did the faithless looting thing for us. So that's kind of nice. I still 100% believe that unearthing Ranger-Captain is 50 times better than casting Ranger-Captain. So, whatever you got to do to get yourself to that spot. Like, Ranger-Captains looked really good when we've unearthed it and, like, looped unearth with it. But it has not looked great as a 3 mana 3/3 that goes and grabs something. Especially in our opponent's archive trap decks. Really don't know who we ticked off for this league. Crab people, crab people. Alright, we're just gonna go ahead and Back ending the crab. Also, I do appreciate my opponent just like digging into 2007 with the Glimpse the Unthinkables. Decided I don't want that stop there. So, good show out of them. Thought Scour. Do you know that Tome Scour is a card that exists in the game of Magic? Unless they just really want that redraw effect. Kind of hoping to draw another land. Mikakoro. But yeah, I wanted to draw a land so that I could like Ranger plus just hard cast Ragavan. So be playing for a trophy also. That'd be awesome. Would it be awesome? I always make like joking remarks about, oh, you don't want your opponent to just cast Ensnaring Bridge on you or something and win the game. And then every now and then this happens and I feel justified. Keep it Thoughtseize. Drops the Embarrassing Bridge. I wonder what they've got under the shell dock. Guess we're gonna find out. We'll learn today. Did they just like activate it and then choose not to play the card? Is that what just happened? So, do I need to... Do I have another shock land yet? I do not. So we've got 2 Ranger Captains, Street Wraith, Dolphy. Do I need to sack this Ranger Captain? think the answer is yes. I think since I have this other Ranger Captain, okay, a little bit scary. A little bit scary. They comment. It said LOL. We're just dead. I don't know what they LOL'd at, but they LOL'd at something. Probably need to bring in the other EE. EE's got to be better than wear and tear. I'd rather have Street Wraith than Bauble. At least Street Wraith synergizes with Shadow. Like Bauble's better for Delirium, but I'm ready to get Archive trapped. Boom. Clockwork. Wraith does make Tasha's worse. You're correct about that. Hey! We get to do the thing! Yes! Whatever. Hiya. Then we're gonna surgical your archive traps. Go away, go away, go away, go away. Okay. Go. I kind of like Founding of the Third Path in their deck. That's pretty sweet tech. Maybe that's why they're playing Glimpse. So they can Founding. I guess that would make sense, right? And like they're so far off of Wrath that I'm just jamming stuff. Visions of the Beyond is not currently turned on. As a Ruin Crab, as a chump blocker. Pushing damage through here. Again, I'm not afraid of a sweeper. Like the only 3-mana sweeper would be like Bantu's Last Reckoning, but they need double black for that, and they can only make one, even if they have a black source. So Founding chooses to cast Visions of Beyond to cycle for a card. Down with Mill. Down with Mill. All right. Well, I guess we got to make a prediction. So let me do that real quick. Manage prediction. Start prediction. That one. And start. Okay. Predictions live. Do you think we're going to get the trophy with Mardu mid-range shadow stuff? Power Rangers. So you got 2 minutes to get your vote in. Either yes, we will get it. No, Mike's a scrub. There's no chance in hell we get this trophy. You need me to pull up the deck list so you can better inform your decision. Here it is. Little Mardu Death Shadow with Ranger Captains and stuff and cards and things, and really gonna hope we don't run into Mill for a third round in a row. It's a free roll because either I double my points or we trophy. There you go. Get your votes in. 55 seconds left. It looks like the Believers are actually in the lead this time. That's a first. Just beat Mill once more for a third time. Once more for a third time again. Also, while we're getting these predictions in, don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter if you ever want to see whenever a stream is going live. It's the first place it gets updated. Exclamation YouTube for the YouTube channel in case you want to see this and other leagues as soon as they go or we get done streaming. And exclamation Discord if you want to join the Control Freak Discord, where all we do is mess around and talk about like terrible shadow builds and what's working, what's not working, and there's a little bit of non-shadow stuff, but you know, whatever. All right, predictions are in. Appreciate Mike setting these up so I can be degenerate and gamble. Well, now that I've finally figured out how to and like get them to run smoothly, it's easy. But I think we might have won 5 straight die rolls. We're gonna keep and pray. Pray that we find more lands. Pray that our Ragavan doesn't die. Pray that our opponent doesn't archive trap us. You know, normal things. Amulet. Well, we had a good run. We tried. Gave it an A for effort. All right. Land. So I'm going to play Channeler here and attack with just Ragavan. If they block, I get to Unholy Heat, trade off, get my 2 Channeler triggers. If they don't block, then I still get to get Ranger-Captain down. Get a shadow just in case. And we will sack Ranger-Captain on their upkeep in case they have to Summoner's Pact. I guess they could have Summoner's Pacted in response, but whatever. Should cast the pack for extra Channeler triggers. Your Cranium. It's too massive. Titan. Alright. Pretty dead here. They should just go get, Hasteland, Garrison, attack, go get a bunch of Valakuts. Let's go to game 2. Got Fulminators. We can loot Fulminators with Unearth. Turok's not horrendous. Wear and Tear. Terminate. So we got some stuff to bring in. My boarding out. Board out a Ranger-Captain. So I'll keep the Unearths. Board out the Lightning Bolts. Board out Channeler. Not bring in all the Wear and Tears. Board out an Ending since I boarded in the Wear and Tears. Board down a land because I do not want to flood. I'm going to do it like this. Actually, on the play, let's only bring in 1 Turok. A Ranger-Captain. Or not a Ranger-Captain, a Channeler. I just want to be like as proactive as I can reasonably be on the play. And Turok is a 4-drop is kind of clunky. Especially if I'm boarding out of land. So maybe I don't want the Turoks at all if I'm boarding out of land. All right. I got there. So Prismatic Ending takes out the Amulet. Ragavan cracks in. We get to play the Shadow. And start off next turn with kicking Turok. Carry on. whatever. Evil Titan in a land. We'll take it. There you go. Treasure here lets us play Channeler. And now if we can just find like an instant, then we can crack the silent clearing to put land in the yard. We just need one more card type for delirium. Or like a bauble would be the best thing. All right. Also puts a land in the yard. Get you. Should I be attacking with everything? 10 through. Yeah. That makes both Shadow and Turok lethal. Yeah, Wear and Tear would have been really good, but unfortunately, out of the ones we boarded in, do not have one. We have another bounce land. Guess I don't need one. And they got the pack for the Titan. Oh boy. Yes, they just kind of had to have it all after the Turok. I feel like we had a really good start that game. More than I feel like we did have a really good start that game. All right. Mike's a scrub. Predictors win there. But, I mean, it's kind of like whenever we play any of these variants of Shadow that start getting into the big 3 drops, this is one of those matchups, Amulet Titan, I mean, that you just lose so much more against because you're taking out your clock, which is just like good proactive stuff, and you're trying to replace it with value stuff like going bigger, not having battle rage, not having stuff like that just to close out the game is pretty significant. Silver linings that I just took a lot of Dogfish's points. So let's talk about the list a little bit. What I would consider changing for it. So to start off, like I said, Ranger-Captain was better than I thought it would be. I still think it's too cute to be like a significant modern presence, I guess is the best way of putting it. Like you are talking about a 3 mana sorcery speed dude that just kind of hopefully stops him for a turn. But there's so many good creatures and instant speed spells that just like he's not reliably stifling your opponent or silencing your opponent. Some matchups he is, but a lot that he isn't. If I would probably try to find more ways to get him into the yard, whether that be collective brutality is an okay option. If we had like Dragon's Rage Channeler 5 through 8 that you didn't have to tutor for off a Ranger-Captain, then that could be better. Like Faithless Salvaging. I think that's like the MH2 fixed Faithless looting. That could be an option. Or, I don't know, just something. Ransack the Lab could work. Just something to make it so you're unearthing this more than you're casting it on 3. Uh, Obviously, I've already talked about like how much I like Dothy, so I could absolutely see going up to the full 4. And then as far as like spot removal goes, I think you just kind of want to maximize a couple of them instead of like 2 of one, 2 of another. Here's our big heat count. Like Ransack the Lab would also help with like Delirium, and because when we weren't playing against Mill, our Delirium was on 3 a good bit, so that might be worth exploring. But I would want to see some number of battle rages in the 75. So like I said, if you're running 4 Shadow, 4 Ranger Captain, like your game plan is to get shadows as often as you can, then there's no reason not to run some number of battle rage. And then in the board, kind of light on like Grave Hate. Got the 2 Dolphy, 2 Hearse, and that's it. I might try to find room for like Spell Bomb or Soul Guide Lantern or something. Maybe over Wandering Emperor. And I don't think Burnt and Forged Cinder is a card you really care about. But all a matter of perspective.